Welcome to Laird Wellness.
Good evening.
We hope you're doing well.
Yes.
This was a great week for us. Our blueberries are ready.
Yes.
Yeah, and in fact, we're going to talk about some summer foods today because we want to talk all about antioxidants and oxidation. What is all of that? And also inside out sunscreen or interior sunshine. We were trying to figure out what to call this thing earlier this week, and I think we kind of, what did we call it? It was like...
edible sunshine.
Edible sunshine, edible sunscreen.
Edible sunscreen.
So it's like we weren't sure what to call it because that sounded kind of weird. So we're going to make it less weird by explaining what exactly we mean by that. So the way this all started was, way back about 2008, I discovered some information about sulforaphane, and I'll explain sulforaphane in a minute. But in order to get to that, something that I do routinely when I'm working at the chiropractor office that I work for a few hours a week in Charlotte with Dr. Aaron Ernst, we look at people's blood tests. And quite often there's one blood marker that we look at that is kind of high, and that can actually prevent people from getting well, and that's your ferritin level. Now your ferritin level is, you might say, oh, ferritin, that kind of sounds like iron. It is kind of like iron. So iron is your your immediate blood level of iron, but ferritin is like your iron storage. And so if you have too high of a ferritin number, like if it's 200 or more, typically they being whoever you're getting a blood test done with, will ask you to get some blood drawn, because that's the only way to bring that iron down, really. When you say, well, what's so bad about iron? I thought you were supposed to have iron in your blood. Yes, but if you have too much, it can cause oxidation. Now, if you think about this, it makes sense, because if we have wrought iron furniture outside in the rain, what happens to it?
Yeah, it gets all rusty.
Rusty, right. Mm-hmm. And that rust is oxidation. So if you think about it, too much iron in the blood will cause oxidative stress, right? Mm-hmm. And what do we use to get rid of oxidation? We use antioxidants. Antioxidants are components in food that have an extra electron that they can donate to things that are causing oxidative stress in your body, because oxidative stress is caused by free radicals. And free radicals are molecules that have an unpaired electron. So they're very reactive, and they're very unstable, and they go around almost like a pinball trying to get another electron from another molecule so that they can become stable. But in the meantime, as you can imagine, they're causing all this damage as they're going around, bouncing around, trying to find this extra electron that I want. So that's what antioxidants do. They come in with an extra electron that they don't need and basically donate it to the free radical, thereby stopping the oxidative stress. That's the magic of antioxidants, and that's why they're so important. And you'll notice that antioxidants are very rich in foods that come out in summer. So you're talking about your berries, any kind of dark colored berry, right? Like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, any kind of dark leafy green, and broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and all these really hardy dark green leafy vegetables, and cruciferous vegetables. And so those are very high in antioxidants, and it's no wonder that they come about in summer, because if you're really following God's plan for eating, and not a lot of us do this, and I can't say that I do it a lot, but the best way to eat is to eat in season, right? Because as you've heard from us before, what are you not supposed to eat after you get a sunburn is wheat, because it will, for many reasons, it will give you an allergy, and it turn into a cold. And if you want to learn more about that, look at our last Facebook Live. We talked all about that. But the main reason was that logically, if wheat is harvested in the fall, it's meant to be something that's eaten throughout the winter when there's not much else around to eat. So in the summer, what becomes harvestable in summer is all the berries and all the fruits and vegetables. So that's what we want to talk about today. So could antioxidants, here's the question, if they are harvested in the summer, could they protect us against oxidative stress, against sun damage? Because sun damage will also cause oxidative stress. Well, that's a very interesting question. And it makes sense, like we said, because all these other fruits and vegetables have lots of antioxidants in them. So that makes it work. And getting back to the study I was talking about in the very beginning here, what got me interested in this is way back in 2007, 2008, I discovered this study that talked about a compound in broccoli specifically called sulforaphane. Now you think, oh, sulfur. I've heard that part of the word before. Yeah, it's sulfur-containing vegetables. So your broccoli, your cauliflower, everything that smells like eggs when it cooks, right? That stuff. So sulforaphane is very powerful, it turns out, for protecting your skin from the inside out. And I wanted to show you a couple of neat things about this. So here's that original study. Take a look at this right here. So this was the study, you'll see the date on there, from 2006. This is protection against UV light-induced skin carcinogenesis. That is basically the beginnings, genesis of cancer, carcinogenesis, you get it, in high-risk mice by sulforaphane-containing broccoli sprout extract. So it turns out that broccoli sprouts have a very high level of sulforaphane. Now you say, why the sprouts instead of the broccoli? Because the sprouts, you think about a seed that sprouts, it has to have all of the components needed to grow an entire stalk of broccoli in that seed ready to go. That's why sprouts are so powerful, and that's why a lot of people choose to put sprouts in sandwiches and salads and that kind of thing. They're an extremely high level of all of the nutrients that you would find in the mature plant, of whatever plant that is, because that sprout has to support all the nutrients necessary to grow that plant. It's like a baby has all of the parts it needs to grow into an adult already built in. It's the same concept. And so that's why broccoli sprouts are so powerful. So now here is an interesting piece of that study, right down there at the bottom, highlighted in blue. Topical application of sulforaphane containing broccoli sprout extract, so they took an extract of broccoli essentially, is a promising strategy for protecting against skin tumor formation after exposure to UV radiation. So isn't that interesting? So you'll notice the difference there. It was after you'd been exposed, right?
Wow.
So it's not putting on sunscreen or sunblock to block the sun, but rather after the sun had been absorbed into the skin and the damage had been done, so to speak. The broccoli sprouts then kind of reverse the damage or stop the damage, the potential for damage to happen, and for this carcinogenesis to start. Now, interesting to note that this is not about melanoma. We're not talking about melanoma here. We're talking about the other skin cancers. Still problematic if you let them go, and they cause all kinds of scarring and problems in your life, but they are not the deadly melanoma. So the melanomas you still have to watch out for, and you still can't burn yourself and that kind of thing. You still have to have your nutrients up and all that type of stuff. So that was a study from back in 2006. And so that wasn't the only study. There's another one here I want to show you. So this is one from 2007, the very next year. Sulforaphane mobilizes cellular defenses that protect skin against damage by UV radiation. So there again, the very same type of research going into this. So this is really exciting stuff. So now it's not just broccoli sprouts either. It turns out that there are lots of compounds in foods that this sort of got the ball rolling, and everybody started looking, well, gee, are there things, how the drug industry goes, they go, ooh, something in broccoli we can put in a drug, let's find it and put it into a drug and sell it for sunscreen. So anyway, so that started the ball rolling, and so it turns out here are some different compounds that you'll find in foods. Interestingly enough, broccoli sprouts is not on this list. I'm not sure why. It's from a different website, but take a look. So here are 4 of the best edible sunscreens to protect your skin. This is where we got the term edible sunscreen from. We thought it was strange, but apparently this article didn't think it was that weird. So sulforaphane, you'll see there on the second line. So Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, collards, as we mentioned, all of the sulfur-containing vegetables as well, like broccoli, cauliflower, garlic, onions, all that type of thing. At the top of the list, carotenoids. Carrot kind of sounds like carrot. Well, where do you think they got the word carrot from? Of course, that's where it comes from. Carotenoids in carrots, peppers, kale, all that type of good stuff. Alkaloids, which are found in potatoes, eggplant, peppers. Now, interestingly enough, those are the nightshades, which not a lot of people, not a lot of people, some people are told not to eat those type of things, so you may want to avoid those if that's your particular situation. But it also mentions here omega-3 fatty acids. So salmon, flax meal, hemp, olive oil. You'll hear us talk about that as well when we're talking about a ketogenic diet, right? All those type of oils are very important. And if you think about it, what's on your skin?
Oil.
Oil, right? And what's in your brain? Fat, right? So no wonder that oils in the diet are extremely good for the skin, for the brain, all kinds of things of this nature. So it just makes sense. Health can be complicated, or if you just sit down and think about it, it can also be very logical and very simple.
Right.
So in this case, it makes sense that the foods that are available in summer, logical, like we call our wellness program, which we're going to tell you about in just a sec. We'll tell you a couple of details about that. But that's why we call it biologic blueprint, because we think that the body, bio, is very logical. And that's why we called it the biologic blueprint.
Right.
And so, yeah, eating these foods in season makes a lot of sense. In fact, our blueberries are ready right now. We picked the first little batch yesterday.
Yes.
And they'll keep going for a few weeks here. Every time we go outside, we'll probably get another half of ice cream pail full. And that they're in season right now. So anyway, so there you go. There are several of the foods that are high in components that protect the skin. So now, we talked about oils for a second. So the omega-3 fatty acids, the olive oil, all that kind of thing. So are there types of oils that you can put on the outside? So like basically foods or oils from foods that you would eat, can you also put them on the outside? Does it work from the outside in, the inside out? I mean, does that whole concept work both ways? It kind of does. It's kind of interesting. So it turns out that several of the oils you would eat actually have an SPF value, the same kind of sun protection factor, SPF, that you would see on the outside of a sunscreen bottle. It's actually inherent in a lot of foods. Now that makes a lot of sense, right? Like you think about things like coconuts that grow in very tropical areas. Well, way back when, before sunscreens were invented, I'm sure people were out in the sun a lot and that type of thing. And did they use the oil of the coconut to protect themselves? It's quite possible, because check this out. Coconut oil, circled there, second one down, has an SPF value of, go figure, 7. How about that?
Wow.
Olive oil at the top of the list. That shocked me. This whole list, I didn't know about this whole list. I never even thought about this until just recently we started researching this. This is from 2010, as you'll notice at the top there. And this is from a research paper from Europe. So olive oil has a sun protection factor of 7.5. Castor oil, 5.68, it says there. Almond oil, 4.6. Mustard oil, 2.1. I wouldn't have thought of putting that on my skin. But all of these different oils, including sesame oil, peppermint oil, peppermint oil is actually pretty high. This doesn't go in the order of, that's interesting, they put peppermint oil at the bottom, but it's 6.668.
Right.
And lemongrass oil. So lots of different oils there have all kinds of sun protection factors. Now, before you go, great, I never have to buy sunscreen again because I can just put coconut oil on. Well, okay, think about this. We have a dermatologist friend who's one of our very best friends, and we respect him greatly. We differ on some things, but that's okay. He's a very intelligent guy. He has a medical view of things, and we have a natural view of things, and we try and marry them both, because we can't say, oh, no medical, and you have to take the best of both.
Right.
And so what he says makes a lot of sense. You want at least what does he recommend an SPF value at? It's way higher than 15. I think it's 30 that he recommends.
Yeah, it's 30 or above, but
30 and above. Okay.
But also they sell and promote sunscreens that are predominantly zinc based. So
yes, we're going to get into that tonight.
Yeah, they're trying not to, even though they're AMA, they're trying not to put anything that would damage your skin on your skin.
Right, because he's a dermatologist. He's trying to look after you, right? So anyway, so he's not a holistic dermatologist per se, but he's got a lot of great ideas, and we listen to him. We respect him a lot. So you want something that has at least, I would say, at least a value of 15. So would coconut oil work as an adjunct to something else? Yeah, maybe, but I wouldn't use it just by itself. I'll tell you what I do, okay? So here's what I do personally. If I'm going to use coconut oil at all, here's what I do. I will put it on before going in the sun. Then I will go in the sun for 20 minutes if I didn't have anything on. If I had coconut oil on, I might go in for 30 minutes. But I'm going to cap it at that, because you see how light I am. I get burned very easily, and that can be dangerous for me. So I don't want to risk anything. So I might go for 30 minutes with coconut oil. That's just me. That's what I do. And then what I'll do is I'll put on either a short sleeve or a full-length sleeved surf shirt, like the rash guard is what they call them, to protect myself. I'd rather do that than slather on a bunch of sunscreen. That's just me. I'll put on a hat. Maybe I'll put some sunscreen on the forearms that are still maybe exposed if I'm wearing a short-sleeved rash guard. and maybe the back of my neck and my nose when I'm wearing a hat. And then I'll go back out into the water. I'm talking about being at the beach, at the ocean, or something like that. And that's what I'll do. Jody, what do you do when you put on sunscreen?
I pretty much do the same thing. I don't put anything on for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm a little bit darker than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I tan pretty well. So after 30 minutes, I will put on sunscreen, but it'll be something that is zinc based and pretty healthy.
Right.
Like my go tos are Elta MD or Blue Lizard or just something that looks really bad because it's really white and maybe
Yeah.
doesn't soak into the skin
Well,
well, but I know that it's not got all the other crap.
Well, we're going to talk about a cool option tonight that doesn't leave that blue hue, which is kind of neat. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so yes, now the different types of sunscreens. Okay, so you prefer to wear sunscreen rather than a surf shirt like
Yeah,
I do. You
I
like
do.
to just okay, so yeah, and then but we'll also be in the sun, or pardon me, in the shade, where we can. Like some beaches allow you to put up one of those pop-up gazebos that we have.
Right.
North Carolina beaches have kind of stopped doing that. Same as South Carolina, but Florida still will. Just by the way, so you prefer to do something different than I do, but when we put on sunscreen, there's two types of sunscreen. You've heard sunscreen, sunblock are the same thing. No, they're not. So here's the difference. So sunscreen, think of like a screen on your window. It allows the light in and then deals with the sun damage once it's absorbed into your skin. Sunblock will completely reflect the rays at the surface and will not let them in at all. Now keep in mind, sunblock and sunscreen will prevent your body from making vitamin D from the sunlight. So if you're trying to get sunlight or vitamin D from the sunlight, do like we do. Go out for a very minimal, reasonable amount of time. Be smart about it, 20 minutes or so, and then put on the sunscreen. So that way you'll get the vitamin D started and then stop any kind of excess after that. So that's what we do anyway. I don't know if that's perfect or not. That's what we decide to do. Works pretty good for us.
Right.
So now we talked about a different, like sunscreens are okay, right? But there's a lot of chemicals in them, like you mentioned, and our dermatologist friend ain't not such a fan of those type of things. Minimally where necessary, okay, but he prefers to have the sunblock. Now you mentioned one brand of stuff that we're not going to show up here in a minute, but it's called Blue Lizard. And Blue Lizard can be found anywhere. It can be found at Walmart, anywhere like that. Blue Lizard is, if you're not going to get the more expensive stuff that we'll show you in a second, that is the go-to that I would do. We have it in our beach bag right now. We have Blue Lizard. The reason it's called Blue Lizard is because, well, first of all, they kind of had this neat marketing thing where the package, the bottle, will actually turn blue in UV light that's strong enough to warrant putting sunscreen on,
Right.
which is kind of cute. So they do that kind of thing. But they also call it Blue Lizard because it's zinc oxide. And when you put zinc oxide on, you rub it on, and it's not like Hawaiian Tropic that's going to, absorb into your skin because it's not a sunscreen, it's a sunblock. It's the zinc oxide or titanium oxide, titanium dioxide that is, that will be on top of your skin and reflect the light. And so it's going to leave this whitish kind of blue hue that a lot of people don't like, that's not very attractive, and they kind of, a lot of people don't like that. It's the type of stuff you see the beach lifeguards putting on their nose. It's very white. That's what it is. It's zinc oxide trying to reflect the light off of their nose.
Right.
And so that's what sunblock is. However, there is some cool stuff that Jody was talking about. Now we don't sell it, and we don't get any promotion from this, but we just really like it, so we wanted to share it with you. This is really neat stuff. This is not the only place you can get it, but there's a place called dermstore.com that has it, and here's what it looks like. It's called Elta MD. And there are several different versions of this. They have Elta MD UV clear, UV this, UV that. It's all just different versions of the same thing. But if you look on the bottle, I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen, but it's called facial sunscreen. And the reason it's facial is because at the very top above the logo, what do you see? Tinted.
Right.
This is cool.
Yeah.
So it's a zinc oxide. It's a clear, first of all, it's a transparent zinc oxide. And even if it does have maybe a little bit of a blue hue, you'll never know it because what they do is put a little bit of makeup tint in it.
Yes.
So now it's like putting on makeup. So even if it is a little bit of blue hue, you're not going to ever see it because it's going to match your skin tone. Now, of course, everyone has different skin tone, and the one level of tint is not going to be perfect. So Elta has also thought of that. They said that you use this underneath your makeup, ladies. They said that if you want to use it under makeup, you can, and it will protect you all the same. And some makeup even has SPF now.
Yep.
So this is a really cool thing. We actually recommended this to one of our Biologic Blueprint folks who was looking for this, and this one in particular, because if you look at the description right underneath the large type there, so it says UV clear bond spectrum SPF broad spectrum SPF 46 tinted, and then underneath a tinted oil-free sunscreen that protects sensitive acne-prone skin. We have a couple of folks right now who are dealing with acne troubles. So if you have acne troubles and you're looking for a sunscreen and you're desperate for something that doesn't make you break out, this is the stuff. Now, the price on it is pretty high, $39, and you'll notice it's only 1.7 ounces. So yeah, you probably only want to put it on your nose or your face or wherever and just deal with it from that. But that is a really cool option that actually our dermatologist friend introduced us to.
Yep.
That's
my go-to for summer,
for
sure. For sure, for my face and my shoulders.
And mine too, really. I mean, I put it on too, and it doesn't really have a tint. It's so lightly, like it's sort of semi-transparent, so you never really know. It's like putting semi-transparent stain on your deck. You can see the deck wood, and it's got kind of this color to it, but it's not like you're slathering makeup on. So guys can enjoy it too. All right, so very cool stuff. So now here is something really interesting as well. We have a new product through Laird Wellness for the inside out. So you've got sunscreen on the outside. We talked about, is there a way to do sunscreen from the inside out? Yes, there is. Here it is. Take a look. It's called Shade Factor. So Shade Factor is a brand new thing that we're carrying now from Life Extension. It's a really cool collection of things that once the sun gets into your body, it's sort of that concept of sunscreen without having the chemicals. It allows the skin or the sun in, because obviously this isn't going on the outside of your skin. You take it as a supplement. It's just a capsule. Mm-hmm. So it helps your body deal with the UV rays once you've absorbed them, just like you would with healthy foods. Like we mentioned, all the sulforaphane, the carotenoids, and all that type of foods, this adds to that to protect you once you have absorbed some sun. So check this out. So what does it have? It has, we're just going to go through what's highlighted in red there. It provides 500 milligrams of niacinamide. That's vitamin B3. It's also called nicotinamide. So we're going to get into that in a second. So it's the same, whether you're from the US or Europe, that's the two different words. It's a form of vitamin B3 with multiple skin benefits. It's been shown to promote healthy DNA. How about that? Because skin damage will damage your DNA, but this promotes healthy DNA. It also helps inhibit cellular changes of the skin that can lead to premature aging, ladies especially, from outdoor activity. We hate that. We want to prevent that. How about this? And it will also help support the body's natural immune response and promote healthy skin. So we thought that was kind of neat. So one of the studies that was used to make this stuff came from here, the New England Journal of Medicine, perhaps one of the most respected, if not the most respected, medical journal in the world. And there was a phase 3 randomized trial of nicotinamide, like I said, same thing, niacinamide, B3, it's all the same thing, for skin cancer chemo prevention. And they found that, get this, check this out, oral nicotinamide was safe and effective in reducing the rates of new non-melanoma skin cancers.
Wow.
So this is the basal cell carcinomas that you hear about, that type of thing. And so that is really cool. So we just wanted to share that with you because we thought that was really interesting that you could actually get a supplement to help with sunscreen.
Right.
That's going to help protect your skin. How about that?
So how should you take it when you're going to the beach, the month you're at the beach, all year round? How does that work?
Well, on the bottle it says it's best to take before and after. So I would take it like for a week before and a week after and just take it all summer long, really. I mean, what it is, there's like 60 servings in a bottle, so that'll last you for...
right there, don't you?
Yeah, right here. There you go. So 120 capsules, actually, 60 servings. So it depends on how much you want to take it. The recommended on the back is 4 a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, or whatever. But if you just want to do 2 a day, which I might actually do myself, is just 2 a day. So that'll last me like 60 days. So for 2 months in most parts of the U.S., that's the good part of the summer.
It's when we
So,
travel and do our beaching.
right, so July, August kind of thing. So yeah, so that is available now from Laird Wellness. And so here's what what we're going to do. We're not going to recommend it, but here's what we're going to do. And you can learn from it and do it yourself if you want. You can copycat us. So eat foods that protect yourself. So I'm going to eat lots of broccoli, lots of blueberries, things of that nature, all the things that were on that list. Okay, so you can go back earlier in this presentation and take a look at those foods. So eat the foods that are going to protect you from the inside out. Next, do like Jody does. I mean, put that Elta MD on the outside. So now you're getting sunscreen, right? So eat the foods, then maybe put some coconut oil on, go out for 30 minutes. After you're done that, put on the Elta MD. Be smart about it. Wear some sunscreen that's tinted, has the titanium, or pardon me, in this case, the zinc oxide that protects you, sunblock, great stuff. Has the vitamin B3 in it as one of the major factors of why it works. And then you get shade factor. Shade factor also has vitamin C, has niacin, the nicotinamide. Same thing in here too. So you see how this works. It's the B3 that's really the secret here. So you're protecting yourself from the outside, you're taking a supplement to protect you from the inside, and you're also eating all the vegetables that have sulforaphane and carotenoids and all the other things that protect you from the inside out. So you're protecting yourself from the outside in, the inside out, 100% protected. So we just wanted to share this with you before you go out to the beach, and we're going to give you a little bit of a deal on it too. So check this out. Go to lairdwellness.com/shade. That's where you're going to find Shade Factor, okay? That'll lead to this stuff right here. lairdwellness.com/shade. And if you use the code Facebook, or just the word Facebook, we'll give you 15% off. And that's good from now till whenever. We'll shut it off soon, but just make sure if you want to get that 15% off, you do it now. And if you want to join the Biologic Blueprint program and learn more, here's a quick rundown of what it offers. We're still signing people up. We have a conversation with somebody on Sunday who's very interested in coming on.
That's right.
And we had just a couple signups last week. People are coming on all the time and enjoying it, loving it. So there's more details. If you want to know more about it, go online to lairdwellness.com/blueprint, and you will have a conversation with me through that link, and we'll talk about it for half an hour, and we'll see what you want to do about it.
And shout out to Sarah.
Sarah.
40 pounds today.
Sarah, yes, thank you, Sarah. Yes, Sarah has joined our program. She's already recommended one other person who's come on with us, and so she took advantage of that 20% referral fee. And Sarah's still killing it. She's what? Yeah, lost 40 pounds. She's had all kinds of other benefits. You can look at her testimonial on our Laird Wellness Facebook page. Find out all what she was able to gain in her life, and if that sounds of interest to you, and also Chelsea Tebow.
Yes.
Her kids have noticed an amazing change. If you haven't seen that yet, again, go on our Facebook page. Watch Chelsea's testimonial. It's the latest one up there. Amazing changes in her kids' life. And right now, we'd like to encourage you to go over to ShabbatNightLive.com. We're talking to Mary Nell Wyatt Lee all about the discoveries of Ron Wyatt and how they relate to King Tut. You will be amazed. So again, thank you for joining us today on Laird Wellness Live. We will see you next time. And until then, Shabbat Shalom and
Shalom.
Shavua Tov, which means have a good week.